Japan is a country where tradition meets innovation. Nowhere is this seen more clearly than in the things produced here. Made in Japan is more than just words on a label. It's a window into the heart and soul of a nation. Each week on Great Gear, we visit factories and trade shows. We spotlight creative companies. We find out which new products are popular in Japan and learn about the people who take them from design to production. I'm Matthew Masaru Baron, and here's today's lineup. Today on Ant Style, we take a look at a traditional craft called mizuhiki that's been part of Japanese culture since the 7th century, and we'll visit someone who's trying to give it new life in modern times. This week's on-site report is all about sweet rides. The Tokyo Auto Salon has just about everything in the world of custom cars, from aftermarket parts and accessories to the latest factory custom offerings from major automakers. Handmade washi paper is another traditional Japanese craft. Last year, 3 types of washi were designated as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage. But the art form is not only practiced by Japanese. For our special report, we'll visit an American artist who has mastered the technique. In Japan, presentation is everything. From sushi to sumo, the way things are presented is just as important as their substance. Looks count. Many non-Japanese who visit the country are impressed with the high quality of gift wrapping in stores. Not just the paper and ribbons, but the attention to detail given by store clerks. Another example is decorative envelopes containing money, given on important occasions like weddings and funerals. These are wrapped with elaborate decorations made from rice paper string. The process is called mizuhiki and has been around for over 1,400 years. Although the art form is not as widespread as it used to be, today we visit someone who is trying to bring it to a larger audience.
What gorgeous and delicate ornaments! They're actually a kind of string called mizuhiki, made with washi paper tied into a decorative knot. In Japan, it has long been the custom to add significance to objects and their shapes to convey one's feelings, and mizuhiki is one example of such traditional practices. On celebratory occasions, the decorative knots are tied into various shapes to transmit wishes and messages of joy. This custom is said to date back to the 6th and 7th centuries. However, nowadays, mizuhiki is only used on formal occasions. For example, the knots are used to decorate envelopes called shugi bukuro for monetary gifts given during celebrations. Seeking to revive and preserve this beautiful and quintessentially Japanese tradition of mizuhiki, a team of designers has brought new ideas and shapes to the craft. Their creations can be found in multi-brand stores. The team is led by Ms. Naoko Shibukawa, who used to work in IT.
もともと伝統工芸に興味があったのと、お店とか美容院とかカフェとかの空間演出のお手伝いをしていて、で、どうせ空間を演出するのであれば、日本の伝統工芸を使って何かできないかと思ったところが始まり。
She showed us one of the traditional knots she learned to make. This is one of the basic types called awaji knot. This next one is based on the awaji knot. It's named the apricot flower. Another design derived from the awaji knot is this one, the turtle knot. Ms. Shibukawa bases her designs on the traditional chūshū method from Fukui Prefecture. Making use of the springiness of the washi paper strings, she creates entirely new styles. What's more, she makes artwork and collaborative pieces that go far beyond the boundaries of traditional mizuhiki.
この水引っていうのはどうしても手元にある小さなものっていうイメージが大きいと思うので、例えばお花と コラボしたり、こうやって天井から吊るすことでその空間の中にある水引っていうのをいろいろと探っていきたいなと思っています。
To demonstrate what new possibilities she sees in Mizuhiki, Ms. Shibukawa created an art piece for us with floral artist Tatsuya Sengoku. Such a combination of completely different art forms is rather unusual, but by working together, the two of them discover interesting connections in their crafts, creating a synergy between them. Thanks to Ms. Shibukawa and her team of creators, the traditional craft of Mizuhiki is being redesigned to better fit modern lifestyles, attracting attention overseas as well.
Wow, I have a hard enough time tying my shoes. She makes it look so easy. Whether or not these decorations are your thing, you have to admire someone trying to keep a tradition alive by doing something new with it. When a craft has been around for over 1,000 years, you kind of take for granted that it is what it is. Imagining it used in a new way isn't always easy. It's great to see someone like Shibukawa taking a tradition and customizing it in her own way.
This is the real Japan. More than news or technology, NHK World TV brings you the real Japan, with programs ranging from scenic travel to Japan's world-famous cuisine. NHK World TV. This is the real Japan. More than news or technology, NHK World TV brings you the real Japan, with programs ranging from scenic travel to Japan's world-famous cuisine. NHK World TV.
Of course, customizing something and making it your own isn't limited to traditional arts. When it comes to private transportation like cars and motorcycles, there has always been a certain number of people who just can't be satisfied with the products as they look coming off the assembly line. Don't believe me? See for yourself. There were over 30,000 of them at the Tokyo Auto Salon this year, and one of them was reporter Wayne Lawler.
Hi, I'm here at the Makahari Messe for the 33rd annual Tokyo Auto Salon, one of the biggest motor shows for modified cars in the world. Now, I'm a big fan of custom cars and cars in general, and if you have the same passion for cars that I have, well, this is the place to be. So let's take a look. This is the first major auto event of the year, and this year's show is packed full of custom car greatness, with offerings from the major brands, as well as specialized makers of aftermarket parts. Now, why couldn't this have been my first car? Over its 3 days, the auto salon drew a record 30,000 visitors. Through past experience, we've come to expect the unexpected from this luxury car icon. The base model for this special new design is the RCF, a two-door, 5-liter V8 sports coupe. Known as the RCF CCS, this amped-up version features custom parts developed in-house with an eye on future commercial sales. It's street legal, but it's packed with know-how brought straight from the racetrack. This one is actually meant for the track. Suspended above are headphones playing the exhaust note of this beast in action, as well as 2 original compositions that incorporate samples of the same heart-pounding sound. Nissan is known for motorsport, but this new concept for one of their standard road models is worth a closer look. Based on this very popular mini SUV platform, they've developed a wide array of parts for both the interior and exterior, which will allow owners to personalize and color coordinate to their heart's content. The model on display display here was fitted with parts specially prepared for this year's auto salon. There are a total of about 90 different color combinations possible. With customization options like these available directly from the manufacturer, it should be a whole lot easier to create that perfect ride.
This is where it all began. Aftermarket parts like this were the original focus of the Tokyo Auto Salon. A nice set of wheels on a car takes it to a new level.
With that in mind, let's look at the latest from one of Japan's top aluminium wheel makers. Their new lineup for 2015 featured a number of new designs, all of which were popular, but two in particular stood out from the rest. First, this simple yet sophisticated 5-spoke model. It was designed with an eye on current trends, with a gradual slope inward from the outer rim to the center hub. The other standout was this spidery 10-spoke beauty that's forged as one piece. The design draws focus to the outer rim, giving it a real sense of dimensionality. Suspension-related products are another big part of the aftermarket parts world. This company is presenting an air suspension system that lets you control ride height to an impressive degree. Beyond driving safety, they've developed their own proprietary airbag system that guarantees comfort as well. The system is controlled via a compressor mounted in the trunk. They've even developed a smartphone app that gives you total control. Car lovers will have a blast with this easy-to-use system. Just make sure that you set it high enough to get over the curb when you pull into the driveway. This well-known maker that mostly specializes in engine mod parts was founded in 1973. The Subaru BRZ and Toyota 86 were jointly developed and have steadily gained a following. HKS is offering a supercharger kit for both of these fun little two-door sport coupes. When added to the standard factory version, the upgraded fittings and larger intercooler mean a 35% increase in horsepower and a 45% increase in torque on either the BRZ or the 86.
Both cars are extremely popular with tuners, so it goes without saying, parts like these will easily find a market.
There was also a special racing circuit set up outside the main venue. This is a demo run of the D1 Grand Prix Racing Series, which as you may know is a popular motorsport based on controlled drifting. It's also a true Japanese original. Sometimes words just aren't enough. The D1 Racing Association is even developing EV drifters like this one that was converted from a hybrid car. Not bad, but if you ask me, the engine noise is half the fun.
Drifting. I remember it well.
More and more European makers are here at the Auto Salon, including legendary Alfa Romeo. The stylish offering you see here is the result of a collaboration between Alfa Romeo and Japanese designer Ken Okuyama, who's worked with Ferrari as well. Naturally, there's also a version available in red. This car, the Code 9, which is a Ken Okuyama original design, was actually the base for the specially modified Bianco we saw earlier. Preparations are already underway for an extremely limited production run, with delivery set to begin in the not-too-distant future. K-cars are ultra-compact vehicles, and Suzuki is a dominant force in the Japanese market.
7 of the top 10 cars in Japan for 2014 are K cars. So while we're here, let's have a look at some customized versions.
The The announcement of this update on a just released model, which was already factory equipped with a turbo engine, came as quite a surprise. But this factory custom version features juicy goodies like improved road handling, which make it all the more attractive. With a more SUV-style sensibility, the standard version of this K car model is already a crowd favorite. This suggested upgrade adds styling changes like lowered ride height and larger alloy wheels, and is aimed at the cycling enthusiast. This offering, based on the same model, has a different approach. With increased ride height and a number of accessories for fans of the great outdoors, it has a much more off-road feeling. Whether you're driving around on the trails or stopping for the night at your favorite campsite, it's got you covered. I bet it even comes with a barbecue grill. Daihatsu is another giant in the world of super compact cars. This K car's big attraction is its sporty, open two-seater layout. The second generation Copen features a frame design that handles all the structural support. What this means is that the body panels can be easily interchanged, a big reason why it's such a popular little roadster. The ability to transform is a real source of inspiration, and the company has announced plans for new models developed in collaboration with several different designers. Automotive legend Honda is also an active player in the K car market. This sports concept model has already been displayed at several Japanese auto shows. Planned as a mid-engine 660cc dynamo for the domestic market, it remains to be seen whether or not it'll see actual production. The booth was filled with hopeful car lovers, including yours truly, waiting for a chance to drive the real thing.
Now this is a very impressive car, compact, sporty, but still luxurious, and I love the gunmetal finish. Let's hope it becomes a production model real soon. I've never seen so many impressive custom cars as I've seen here today, but I must admit my favorite were the two gold and silver crystal-covered Mercedes. The only problem is, which one to choose? Thanks for watching. My name's Dwayne Lawler. See you again. Thanks, Dwayne. That's quite a collection of customization. And the drift cars were incredible. It takes an amazing amount of skill to control a car that's sliding like that. Drivers use a technique called countersteering, where the front wheels actually point in the opposite direction of the turn. But video games and pros on a closed track aside, drifting on streets is extremely dangerous and in Japan, extremely illegal.
This is the real Japan. More than news or technology, NHK World TV brings you the real Japan, with programs ranging from scenic travel to Japan's world-famous cuisine. NHK World TV. This is the real Japan. More than news or technology, NHK World TV brings you the real Japan, with programs ranging from scenic travel to Japan's world-famous cuisine. NHK World TV.
Sometimes people here feel like Japanese cultural assets can only really be appreciated, or at least only really mastered, by Japanese people. While it's true that the language can be a barrier to understanding the culture, there are examples of foreigners who come to Japan and spend their lives focusing on something uniquely Japanese. Recently, Brian Hughes set out to visit one of them.
Washi is Japanese handmade paper. It's been registered as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage, but the Japanese aren't the only ones who make it, as I'm about to find out. Today, I'll be visiting an American artist who fell in love with Japanese papermaking.
Well, here I am in Saitama Prefecture. It's a lovely sunny day, although it's a bit cold. And I'm here to find out exactly how washi paper gets made. Come on.
His mountain home and studio are in the middle of a Japanese apricot grove.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
So let's get started. Could you show me where we begin?
All right.
Richard Flavin is a printmaker who's been living in Japan for over 40 years and has mastered the techniques of traditional Japanese papermaking. Scattered about the second floor of his studio are many of his works of various sizes and styles. These small prints on white washi are sake bottle labels ordered by a local brewery.
This is kozo fiber, which is the most common fiber.
This is Richard's kozo field in neighboring Ogawamachi. The plants look a lot like small trees.
This is kozo. Yeah, all of these.
Although Japanese paper is made all over Japan, the volume of domestically grown kozo has been dwindling, and more of it is being imported. In response to this trend, Richard began growing his own kozo. The plant's thin inner bark is the only part that's used.
Next is, this is boiled in a solution of soda ash until the fiber can be pulled apart. This is not boiled, of course, but the fiber can be pulled apart in this direction.
Pounding it with a wooden mallet loosens the kozo fiber.
The bark is 1 year old.
It looks fun and pretty easy too.
How am I doing?
Right. It's a frustration release.
That's true. It's good stress relief for sure.
Right.
The kozo is added to water and mixed thoroughly. It's pretty surprising how much water is involved.
I heard that you can, for some reason, it's better to make the paper in the winter.
In the wintertime, water is cleaner. And in the wintertime,
The fiber, the pulp, does not deteriorate.
Okay.
So the winter is really a good season for making paper. However, it's cold. It's cold. Here's the formation technique. Gosh. All right.
Okay.
One.
Yeah.
Can you hear the noise?
Yeah.
It's not just water.
Boiling these roots from a plant known as tororo aoi in Japanese results in this clear, rather slimy gel. Mixing it into the water helps to evenly distribute the kozo fibers. There is a distinct sound of viscosity in the water. After pulling the washi-making frame out of the bath, places it on the table. This is the traditional way of doing it. The thin bamboo screen is then peeled away. Once dried, the paper-making process is complete. Next, I tried my hand at making washi. Richard also offers paper-making classes here, so he's a very good teacher.
It won't fall off. Okay?
there we are.
Like this.
Yeah, that's right.
And then go straight down.
Straight down. Okay.
Isn't that
I
cool?
was totally sure it was going to go horribly wrong.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
Cool. Thank you.
At his home next to the studio, I asked him what attracted him to the world of washi paper.
A lot of people ask me the question about, well, what is the attraction of paper? And to tell you the truth, I wasn't attracted to it as a material itself. I was attracted because of as a user. I was a woodblock printer. The quality of the paper was a very important factor in the end result of my work. That one of the paper makers said, "Why don't you try making it yourself?" And so that was the beginning, and I made it, and I became enthralled with the whole process.
Richard's style is to blend handcraft with fine art.
Because the light. So the image to me is like is sort of a coastline maybe with the ocean and rocks and clouds. But you didn't have a specific image in mind?
No, I had no specific image in mind. Although because I felt the river movement, because there is a river here in front of my house.
He doesn't just use printmaking methods, but also collage and other artistic techniques as well. His unique style looks at once like Japanese sumie ink paintings and modern abstract art. For many years, Richard has been spending his weekends at his home in Tokyo, while focusing on his art at this mountain cottage during the week.
But it sort of blends together, and so this is the effect you can achieve.
This is the Saitama Traditional Craft Center, located in Ogawamachi, a town known for its high-quality washi, where Richard originally studied papermaking. Here you can watch a papermaking demonstration and see many types of traditional tools. This is Hosokawa paper, the most famous type of washi from this region. It was selected as an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO for its use of domestic kozo and for the strong legacy of the local craftsman tradition. In order to explore alternative ways of using washi, many new products are being developed. And recently, it's even being used to make clothing. Richard also created and published these small books. They contain information on papermaking and a traditional kind of dye known as kakishibu. I feel like I've just scratched the surface of the world of washi making. And Richard is such a great teacher and kindred spirit that I'm sure I'll be back here soon.
This paper was produced by Mr. Flavin. Traditional Hosokawa paper is known for being thin, white, and durable, and important enough to Japanese culture to be designated as an intangible cultural heritage. That's it for today. Tune in again next time. We'll introduce you to even more great gear. Until then, I'm Matthew Masaru Barron. では。
Terima kasih Anda telah menyaksikan Jendela Jepang yang dipersembahkan oleh